to do here to start things off, and what items they're going to need to complete this seed.
Yep, so we have 2 items available in Super Metroid to begin with. But in normal, only one of them is actually in logic, because that would be the vanilla morph ball pedestal. You can get the item in the ceiling, in Brinstar, which is normally just an E-tank. So it'll be interesting to see if anyone takes a gamble to see what those 2 checks would be.
Yeah, it doesn't happen very often, but every once in a while, someone will take that risk and it has paid off. Where one of the essential items is there. So if that's one of those things you have to consider is, are you going to take that gamble? It's all about what routes you take, what gambles you make, and which ones pay off. Obviously, precise routing is always essential. Good movement is always essential, but those 3 aspects can make or break your run if you're not careful.
Yeah, I tend to feel that with the Super Metroid side of things, if you're more efficient with Super Metroid, just general movement, getting through rooms as quickly as possible, you don't suffer as much as if you were someone who's really good at Link to the Past. Really good.
Here we go. All right, so both our runners now underway. Again, the usual route is to go straight into Link to the Past to see what you have there, because there's a lot of potential item locations right out the gate. So we'll have to see what their routes they're going to go with here. Oopla. Yep. No, Oopla's taking the gamble. He's going down.
Suppose you better start the tournament off with a bang if this is your first race.
Yep. Got a heart container on the floating island, so not much to start off there. But again, this is only just the beginning.
Power bombs in Sanctuary, very nice find, because trying to find normal morph power bombs in these randomizers, that can be nasty.
Yeah, you definitely want a good complement of power bombs to get in the early going, especially once you get that morph ball. You're going to want to find those, you're going to want to have those power bombs to get through a lot of the important areas. Fortunately, the gamble did not pay off for Oopla, only getting a little piece to heart, but we're going to get an early lumberjack check here from SuperNinTaylor to see whether or not we may have an Agaseed. A quick tree pull. Ooh, very nice. Early bombs, that's what you're looking for.
Yep, ideally you want to get 3, maybe 4 bombs going into CAC, but finding a full 8-pack on the trees is really good for, just in case you try and run it.
Yeah, that's going to give him full access to Kakariko right out the gate, and then on the Lumberjack, not much there, so we don't have to worry about that. But that doesn't mean Ag is out of the game yet. It's not as likely given this the combo, but it's still very possible we may be Ag-locked, but that is still a long ways from being determined.
Yep, one of the few and far between ways now is that you can get locked by just simply not having Dark World access.
And more power bombs for SuperNinTaylor there over in the Lost Woods. Gonna check the Forest Thieves hideout after that, the usual starting route for any Link to the Past run.
Yeah, ideally you want to have 10 minimum power bombs going into if you're returning back to Super Metroid. If you have any less than that, like the 5, that's a real struggle to root through, because you use so many power bombs without those normal bombs.
Absolutely. You got a lot of different areas. We got a map check there. Crystal 1 at Eastern, Crystal 3 at Hera, Crystal 5 at Desert. That's an interesting play.
Yep, so anyone wondering why the 5 crystal was marked red, it's so that we can tell where our 5-6 crystal combination is. And that combination allows you to get access to the big bomb or the huge bomb, whatever you like to call it, that blows the hole in the side of the pyramid.
Pyramid Fairy check, very important, sometimes very essential. We're now getting the blind set. We got our first sword right out the gate. That's always nice to see early on. Means we don't have to worry about combat as much going forward. So, no, good find there from Taylor.
Yep, now a power bomb back, so up to 15 just now, so really, really nice for traversing through Super Metroid.
And add to that, we got some defense, got blue mail in the back of the blind set. Very, very nice to find early on. especially if we do have to do any early Dark World checking. That's going to be a lot more essential, having that early defense, unless we get a lot of hearts early on, which right now we have not seen many that have been accessible. So getting some early defense, I would definitely be taking that right now.
Yep, most of the enemies in the Dark World will hit for 2 hearts at a minimum, and when you get really early access to that, you need to be very cautious in the Dark World.
Indeed. Oh, early Master Sword coming out of the well. Again, getting that extra offense on top of that. That's going to be very helpful in dealing with a lot of these enemies you want. And Master Sword is essential because you need at least Master Sword to fight Ganon, though you certainly want to get at least Temper if you can help it.
Yeah, but just the Master Sword, you have to do spin attacks because it's, for some reason, doesn't do the thing it's meant to do in the story-wise, which is it's meant to deal with Ganon. Although, you know what usually gets pointed at with there being an early Master Sword?
Yeah, I know what you're getting at there. Possible early Aga play. That might be something worth considering at this point. Ooh, got an early bottle. That is very helpful considering where SuperNinTaylor is at. That means he could go straight up to Sick Kid and turn that in. You could not have asked for better timing. Didn't get much from it, but hey, he got that check out of the way. He doesn't have to worry about going back for that later on. That is something you definitely want to have. The less you have to worry about as far as like return checks, the better it is for you. It's very efficient, so you will take that, even if it's not anything important.
Yep, orphaning checks is not something you want to do, but honestly, 3 hearts, get a full heart container for that hand in. I think I'd be happy with that.
Yeah, not the worst thing he could have gotten in this early on in the race. And he's going to go straight into the race game and check this out. I've seen a lot more runners do this now where they don't even check it anymore. It's like it saves time to just go for it, even if it ends up being nothing, as opposed to checking it and then getting, oh, but it is definitely something this time. We've got an early Ice Rod. That could be be something good. But then again, with all 3 pendants still out in the Dark World, there's a very good chance Turtle Rock may be a pendant and he may not even need it.
Yeah, going back to the race game, it's simply because with the combo randomizer, with all the Super Metroid items added in, it's just statistically more likely to be something beneficial.
Absolutely. Now, SuperNinTaylor heading over to the South Shore. We've got quite a few checks out here. We've got the dam, we've got the mini Moldorm Cave, the Ice Rod Cave, and if you want to go the other way around, you can also have got Agina's Cave, which is something a lot of runners tend to pass up early on. Ooh, early hammer! You will definitely not turn that down. This means we are now a glove and a Moon Pearl away from Dark World access, so we're on the fence on whether or not we may have an Aga play here, but we will see. But again, early hammer, that opens up quite a bit.
Yep, early gloves, early hammer, early Moon Pearl. It usually means hype caves have something of worth, something of interest.
All right, next stop for SuperNinTaylor is the mini Moldorm Cave. As I said, 5 items in here. Very early on, if you haven't got many items, the mini Moldorm Cave tends to be a very big hotspot. But again, we've been kind of 50-50 here, so we might get something decent out of this at least.
Definitely much easier to deal with those Moldorms than trying to hit them with bombs.
Power Glove and Flute. Titansmiths. Holy crud.
We don't need the hammer. We can just lift the big rock now.
My lord, that was a loaded mini Moldorm Cave. He's not even going to Ice Rod Cave. I don't know if that's such a smart idea, because, you know, get that out of the way early, but at the same time, I mean, he's got that flute. He can just go back to it.
Yep. Fast travel definitely helps out very early on in this race.
Yeah, the flute is something you want to get at the beginning because, again, like you said, that fast travel, allowing them to get anywhere, including areas that they normally wouldn't have access to early on. Though with the gloves, actually, no, they still get early Death Mountain access because by logic, you need the lamp on top of the glove, but we don't have to worry about that. You can just fly up there.
It also gives us that strange one check inside Upper North here because we have that access through the Death Mountain portal now.
That's true, and the goose is loose.
About this hoose.
I'm sorry, honk. Oh, come on, I had to make a joke.
Everyone has to make that joke.
And we're going to get an early mushroom turn in here from SuperNinTaylor as well. Not a bad call. I mean, you got the flute, get right there, check it quickly, just get it out of the way.
It was practically begging to be asked then because it was right next to the flute.
The only downside to doing the early mushroom check is, of course, as chat points out, no fake powder. Then again, I believe you need the Canis Samaria to pull that off. So we don't know when we're getting that yet. So it might not be a bad call to just go ahead and check that mushroom.
Yeah, you see a lot of runners decide to save and quit with the mushroom, and then the first thing they'll do is hand in it. And then if it's not anything use, they'll just reset and keep the mushroom so they can do that fake powder.
Well, we got something red, but not the cane. It's a red meringue. So the Ice Rod Cave, saved this or later, didn't quite pay off for him there.
Yes, there was much discussion whether or not that is the better the boomerang or whether or not the blue one is the best.
And that's only if the runners even care about the boomerangs. I've seen very few runners even use them these days.
I've definitely seen they have their uses.
I didn't say they didn't use them at all. I just said it's very rare. Nonetheless, SuperNinTaylor now heading over to Aghanom's Closet. Got 3 items at the back here. Might even make an early run into Eastern Palace. Obviously, you won't be able to full clear without the bow, but you never know. Might find something important in there. Let's see what we got here. Yeah, not much. Yeah, just some health. Just some resources, basically. Or Sir Hassel. Did I say Aghanim? Sir Hassel Closet. I'm sorry. What the heck is wrong with me? I'm usually better than that.
No one knows his true name, so it's always Shahasha or something like that.
Now he's heading up to Death Mountain, and he's gonna do, this is out of logic here, but he is gonna check the old man. Most runners can usually get into this dark cave without too much trouble.
One of the few early tricks to learn for the Link to the Past randomizer is find out how to skip that lamp.
Yeah, there's only a few dark rooms that most runners will require the lamp for. Most of them can figure out how to navigate these dark rooms with very little trouble. And that cave being one of them. Doesn't pay off this time, so it's not going to be too much of a logic break there. But still, get it out of the way.
It's also handy to have as a save and quit point.
Exactly. That's the main reason you do it. You want to have that nice save point right there so you can just warp back to it when you need it. You go check out Spectacle Rock and its inside cave. We don't have the mirror, so we can't get what's on the rock, which thankfully isn't much. But if there's something in that cave, that might be something to grab now. Yeah, not much.
Taking time to debate whether or not a full heart container is worth it when you've only got 4 hearts.
So looking at my map right now, we don't have much in the way of checks. We do have Uncle. We do. We do have the back of Escape. That is something. That is a good call there. Definitely want to get that out of the way.
I like how, despite having the Titan's Mist, they still picked up the Great Rock instead of the black one.
Yeah, whatever's easier for you. And we've got a little bit of a meetup here. Not much though in the back of Escape, sadly. Only two non-dungeon items.
Yeah, we did find that all-important key, though.
Indeed. So at this point, we've got Agina's Cave, we've got Uncle, and we've got the front end of Escape left, unless we want to start doing some sequence breaking. But I think we're about to find something big soon. The main thing we're looking for right now is one of the two orbs, either the Moon Pearl or the Morph Ball.
We also have this horrible risk that Zora is actually required, in which case trying to farm another, for SuperNinTaylor, 300 rupees is going to be quite a pain.
That is absolutely true. Yeah, that Zora check is always the bane of a runner's existence in this game, in this particular randomizer, because rupees are a little more spread out, so you really got to hope you don't need a Zora check.
Yep, you will see some runners do what's called a Houlihan check, which is if you go right from the sanctuary until you hit the water, you can sort of dislodge your camera slightly and then fall down the hole, and you end up in a room that has 225 rupees as a sort of one-off for, hey, you found a developer safety net, for, hey, we don't know where to put you. It conveniently takes you out at Link's house.
Exactly, yeah. And for SuperNinTaylor, that would probably put him very close to that 500, but we want to save that as a last resort, though I don't know what Oopla's doing over here. I guess he went the long way around to check his mushroom. And while you can't do the standard Houlihan check if you have the flippers, as chat points out, there are other ways to access that room, so it's not a big deal. There's our Moon Pearl!
Never mind, we found it.
So, Link to the Past just blew up wide, and we've got Space Jump on the desert ledge. That is something we're definitely going to make a note of for later.
Definitely a nice to pick up if you're in the area, but of course we need to find a way to get there. Either the book to get into the desert, or you have to mirror from the mire.
Alright, so we got 2 items left. They're hoping to either find the lamp or not find the map. Because that way they don't have, because if it's the map is still left, they don't have to worry about going into the dark cross. Not much at Agina's Cave, sadly.
It's still a risky check, even with the float. It's not as bad because you could just float to 6 and walk through the desert, but it is still a one-off, out-of-the-way location.
Indeed. Right. Ooh, clever here by Nintaylor. He's gonna use the guard. He's gonna use the regular guard to take out the chain guard knight. I've never seen that before. That is awesome.
I think that's possibly my most favorite way of dealing with that guard.
Oh, it's the map and Zelda's treasure chest. So the last item is in the Dark Cross, which means they're either gonna have to brave that or they're gonna have to come back when they get the lamp. And he is saying no thanks. So where is Taylor going next? Looks like he's gonna head down. I see Hype Cave, Hypergripe Cave check.
I see a Hype Cave in the future.
Yep. Given we haven't found that many items, there's a good possibility we'll find something big in there. But it's still, I call it Hypergripe Cave for a reason. There's still a chance it could be nothing but garbage.
Yep, check your ratings between 1 and 10 about what you would rate this Hype Cave.
Well, let's count it. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got here. Right off the bat, well, there's a bottle. That's not too bad, even though we already got one. Still nice for some extra potions. And not much else. Ooh, well, flippers. That's actually not bad. I'd rate that probably around a 3 or a 4, honestly.
Yeah, definitely looking around a 4 for me. Those heart containers are very nice when you've got only 4 hearts. Or now 5.
I'd agree. I'd say the flippers is the big one. That's what brought it up, because the flippers, you needed that. And we're going to get our first look into Upper North Fury over here on Oopla's side. Not going to be able to check much without the Morph Ball. You can check at least the first item in this room, but if it's something important, that's still a very big find, and never mind.
Yeah, Oopla unfortunately missed the enemy there, so the door remained blocked. So it'd be quicker just to reset, because the game thankfully does an auto-save whenever you transition between games. And just decides to reset out of that room instead of waiting for the enemy to go all the way around the other side of the room.
Yeah, it just means he'll have to work his way back over to the main entrance here. Got a dig game check here for SuperNinTaylor. Up to 30 digs. You kind of want to hope to get it fast. Not too bad there, and half magic. You know, not essential, but you're not going to turn it down, especially if you end up using stuff like the rods or a lot of the magic use items. So it's nice to get early on. There's our map check. Green pendant at Meyer. Red pendant at Pod. Blue pendant at Turtle Rock. Crystal 6 at Thieves Town.
Yep, seeing both Nightmare Marsh and Turtle Rock on pendants, that's really nice to see.
Yeah, that's going to be very helpful there. No medallions required, at least as far as we know. Now, there is still a possibility. If there's one thing I've learned about these randomizers, always check pendant dungeons because they may have something, but at least that will mitigate that to some extent.
The other good news about seeing pendants on those dungeons is there's so much requirement to get into them that you pretty much rule out pedestal.
Yeah. The pedestal possibility is very slim, which for us in the chat, I'm sure is a disappointment, but for the runners, that is a breath of fresh, that is a sigh of relief in their eye. All right, so Oopla's going to check Eastern Palace. We did not see this on Taylor's side. Well, he's checking out Village of Outcasts, not finding much. But this race is still very early on.
Yep, so there's a possibility of 3 items inside Eastern Palace, whereas in Thieves Town we got potential for 4.
Ooh, there's Tempered Sword right off the bat for Oopla. That is a nice find.
Yep, that will make up a lot of time on the upcoming bosses and potentially just general navigation of Dark World, because I think most of the enemies will die in one hit to the Tempered Sword.
Close to it, so that'll save them a lot of time there. Most bosses go down pretty quickly. The Tempered Sword. Maybe not immediate, but it'll definitely save him a ton of time on at least, I would say, 6 and 7 bosses. Depending on what else he finds along the way. Not finding much in Thieves Town, unfortunately. In fact, I think he only found he found 2 items, and neither of value, and otherwise it was all dungeon stuff.
Yep, the unfortunate thing about Thieves Town is there's 4 checks on the front, and one of them is guaranteed to be the big key because you need it to get to the back. So unfortunately, you always have to do some form of deep dive into it.
Yep, there. But thankfully, because SuperNinTaylor has the hammer, he can full clear this dungeon, especially the infamous big chest, because Lord knows that big chest can be a pain if it ends up being an essential item and you can't get to it right away.
Yeah, if you're doing a dive in Eastern Palace, you want to find 3 items plus the big key, because that means you don't have to do this awkward dark room movement with Oopla to get to the last check, because you can just roll out.
Exactly. Also, shout out to our friends over at SpeedGaming Espanol, who come in with a party of 30 there. Hola, mi amigos. There's the compass, so the last item is going to be downstairs. The last couple of items will be downstairs. As Oopla now arriving at the big key chest. And not much there. So the last item is on the Arbos Knights.
Yep, and we'll need the legendary bow to deal with those knights. Well, more to deal with the Aragorn getting to the knights, but same thing. They work just as well on the knights themselves.
Now it looks like Oopla's going to be doing his escape run, which we know is required because the Moon Pearl is in the front end of escape. He's going to do Uncle first. That's what you do. Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor now rescuing the maiden. Going to check the chest thereby and probably stop off and check that big chest if he needs on the way.
So that lack of the small key inside the maiden's cell tells us that the small key is in fact locked inside the big chest.
I could have sworn he found it, but I guess I was thinking of something else. But nonetheless, yeah, that means he does not have to worry about the big chest.
Yep, thanks to weird key logic restrictions with blind, you can technically soft lock yourself from the big chest. And as such, they built in a safety measure so the small key can never be on blind.
Also, blind pun of the day. Pizza joke? I think that's a bit too cheesy.
Talk about low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit? That's on the ground rotting. What are you talking about? Very quick blind fight there. Nicely done. Following the script to the letter. Gets the last item. And our first crystal of the race. And it's a 5/6 crystal to boot.
Blind being the only boss that will not benefit from having a sword upgrade, because it always takes 3 hits, regardless of what weapon you use.
Yeah, it takes 9 hits total. The only benefit to having the upgraded swords is that there's an extra pixel of length, getting a little tiny bit of extra range to work with, but not all that much. You still got to be very careful. But if you know how to work the script, it can really be a very easy fight. And SuperNinTaylor showed us exactly how that worked. I don't even think he took a single hit in that fight.
It's so upsetting now after struggling so long with blind as a kid to then realise, hey, there's just a script you follow. And it's like, if you do this action every time, it works.
There's our first item in Skull Woods, as Taylor is checking that out. Which means if he finds the other item, you know, all he has to do then is get the fire rod, but he might have planned for doing that.
Yeah, he went in the front door first, which is really bizarre. Usually people fall down this left hole first.
I've seen both ways more often than not. It's 50-50 on that. Of course, if he doesn't find a key here, he's going to have to go into the pinball room. Never mind! As I say that, it looks like he's still going to go into the pinball room.
Yeah, it'll give him the option to save this key if he needs to.
Yeah, the pinball room, and with this logic, it's still a guaranteed small key because at the time of this version, there was the belief that there was a soft lock potential if you didn't have a key in that room, so they kind of made it that way. I think in later versions of the Link to the Past randomizer, they've adjusted that a bit.
Yeah, I believe so. The Link to the Past version of the randomizer versus the version in this is a completely isolated version. They're two entirely different versions of the randomizer. And as part of the changes they added into the Link to the Past randomizer, with version 30, I believe it was, they added in an item placement sort of command. So there's now a basic placement and an advanced placement. And the advanced placement allows that room to contain an item. And that just simply requires you to save and quit to get out of that room.
Oh, looks like Oopla is going to check the Dark Cross. Again, this is out of logic, so if you find something essential here, that will be an out of logic play. But if done correctly, that kind of out of logic play could be the advantage. It's a gamble no matter what you...
Yep, there's been more than enough times where just breaking the logic, even simply just to do a fake flipper to hobo, just blows open your seat completely. Versus, hey, the flippers were actually behind Ridley this whole time.
Not much at the Bumper Cave check, so we won't be seeing that picked up anytime soon. Taylor now taking the long way around to the eastern side of Dark World. Probably going to be a check in Catfish if RB betting man.
Yeah, it makes sense. With Paths of Darkness being a pendant, it's probably got less of an appeal to him, but you never know. Pendant, Palace of Darkness tends to be a treasure trove.
Yeah, that's like I said earlier, always check those pendant dungeons. And Catfish as well is a check that I've seen many runners forget about or pass up on, and it ends up biting them. So I don't blame NinTaylor for getting this out of the way early. Check it now. If it's nothing, you didn't lose. You're not losing too much time. But if it's something essential, there's always a good chance that Oopla may not even go here for a while, and that could be the difference maker. I've seen that happen more times than I dare count. Let's see if the Catfish proves to be wrong tonight. That's not too bad, I guess.
I think we're at our power bomb limit right now. I don't think we really want to see more power bombs.
Yeah, I think we're close to 25, 30 at this point.
I mean, personally, for me, I think 20, 25 is sort of the minimum I want for power bombs. After that, I got to start passing them up for other things.
Of course, on the way down, NinTaylor was also going to probably check the pyramid ledge to see what's over there. So now we're starting to hit what I like to call the wall. Like, in this point in the race, you notice we're getting less and less items, though as soon as we find that morph ball, that might change real quickly because Super Metroid's going to open up wide, and we still have a lot of checks there to go through, so we're just looking for that morph ball.
Yeah, we're definitely starting to run out of checks for A Link to the Past side. We've got what's in Paths of Darkness. Potentially may even be locked if that first check doesn't contain a key. And yeah, I'm starting to struggle where else that could be.
Alright, looks like Oopla's gonna check Hobo. This is something NinTaylor has not done yet, so this could be a good play if it works out. Oh, 100 rupees, a little closer to Zora. Not too bad. So, I've got my own tracker up that I always like to use. What we're looking at right now, we've still got the Smith Chain to work on. We've got Swordsmith, we've got Peg Cave, we've got Purple Chest. We also do have access to Meyer. Meyer's Shed is in play, and we could also do that one quick check over in Laura Norfair. And we still have the Zora and the Waterfall of Wishing, which it looks like that's where Oopla's heading next. So let's see if this pays off. And even though Zora's not available yet, we still have Zora Ledge. Ooh, hook shot! That's more like it.
That'll open up all our Eastern Death Mountain and actually Tower of Terror, because we can now go the long way thanks to that hammer.
Yeah, and we've got Dark Death Mountain in play as well, so with Hookshot Caves. That opens up quite a bit. That's a good find there for Oopla. Not much of the Zora Ledge, unfortunately, but hey, with how much he's opened up, I don't think he's complaining right now.
And SuperNinTaylor setting up what looks to be the Houlihan trick.
There's our Huli. Well, he had 280, so with the 250s getting here, this should put him over the mark. He's setting up for that Zora play.
Which will thankfully also lead him to his hookshot since it's in Waterfall Cave.
Exactly. That's actually a really smart setup there. Because he might be able to grab something from Zora that Oopla was forced to pass up. And again, if it's an essential item, that could be the difference. Oh, I've been corrected. It's 225 in Houlihan Room, not 250. Still, he's got more than enough. That's what counts.
As long as someone did the math correctly and realized he had 500, that's all he needed to do.
Yeah, I'm not the one that needs to get the math correctly. It's SuperNinTaylor. All right, we're getting Paradox Cave check here from Oopla. Quite a few items in here. X-Ray, and hey, there's that 300. That puts him over the mark now, too. considering we have not gotten much of the Super Metroid X. Oh, Fire Rod! And not much else, but still, a couple good items out of that. I'm not.
Yeah, we got access to the back of Skull Woods, which is another crystal, but not much beyond that. As opposed to Anchor, we now do Ice Palace. If you would like to do Ice Palace with 6 hearts or 5 hearts.
All right, so this could be a big moment here for SuperNinTaylor. He's about to turn in that Zora check. Obviously, the Zora ledge isn't going to be very valuable to him. But what's that 500 rupee worth? Is it going to be life lesson, love lesson, or could it be major value? Meanwhile, Oopla going to be doing Spiral Cave. Get your resident sleepers in chat, folks. He's going to be taking the long way around. Zora has love lesson. Ooh, Plasma Beam! That is a nice find in Spiral Cave.
Yeah, considering that's our first beam upgrade, that is a really nice find.
And that puts us 2/3 of the way to the microwave beam, and to get that before we've even really stepped into Super Metroid, that could be huge. Now he's going to check out Dark Death Mountain. Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor, about following right behind him, he's heading to Paradox Cave. He's going to be finding all those sweet goodies that Oopla just found.
Yeah, I do find it strange that Oopla decided to do Spiral Cave without dipping into Tower of Hero first, because surely you would rather do that first, because you're already up there.
I guess he's going by item density, since you're going to have a lot more items here in between Dark Death Mountain and everything else, so I guess that's the logic he's got going on.
Yeah, there is only 2 items available in Hera, and thankfully during that fire rod, we're no longer lamp locked for it, so we have a fire source.
Yeah. Super Bunny Cave just got some resources there, not much. And yeah, Jeff points out, if there's a mirror here in like Hookshot Cave, this could actually be the much better play. And just for giggles, he's gonna check to see what pendant's required for Turtle Rock. That would be Quake. Figures on the off chance he might need to dip into Pendant Turtle Rock, might as well at least have that out of the way.
Yeah, Turtle Rock can be a nasty troll sometimes. I've seen Variasuit in there, and it's like, I don't want to go through all of Turtle Rock just for Variasuit.
Well, we got Red Nail and a lot of money.
Speaking of red suits.
Well, looks like SuperNinTaylor is going to be the one to dip into Tower of Hera. There's our first item right out the bat. Not what he was hoping for there. Looking for something big, and now Oopla's going to be falling behind. He's going to make the long way around back into Tower of Hera. We'll see if this pays off for SuperNinTaylor. There's the big key. Don't have to worry about the basement just yet. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I see what SuperNinTaylor's doing. He's going Hera pot.
People doing it for the swag.
Nailed it! First shot! Very nicely done. And because he did it first try, that actually saves him quite a bit of time, because he can just check these 2 chests and then just go straight up to Moldorm. Very well done. He's got both items now, so all he's going to be doing now is just getting his crystal and getting out of dodge.
You are, of course, relying on Moldorm playing nice.
There's a reason why we give him the nickname Trolldorm, ladies and gentlemen. Bear in mind that SuperNinTaylor is still only working on Master Sword, so it'll take a few extra hits, not too many, but it'll be a little bit quicker for Oopla. Still, oh, very quick fight regardless. Nicely done. And he knows he got that small key, but he's like, I've got both items. I don't need to go into that basement. I'm leaving that and getting out of there. So for right now, that's pretty much it for Death Mountain. Don't have enough health or protection to do Spike Cave, though, you know, and everything else has already been checked or is unavailable. So we're just going to have to come back here later once he gets finished up at Spiral Cave and everything else that Oopla has already done.
Yeah, you could always fiddle it with the fact that we have 2 bottles at this point in time. If you fill them both with health, or you could fudge your way through Spike Cave. Wouldn't be very good.
No, it's too risky a play considering we don't know what's in there yet. Get a little more health, maybe get some protection like a Cane of Burna or Magic Cape, then we'll talk. Pretty quick fight there for Oopla as well, not too much trouble. Trolldorm not trolling today on either side.
SuperNinTaylor unfortunately getting blocked by a dead rock.
Oh, the Dead Rocks, the unofficial mascot of the Link to Past Randomizer, because they are the trolliest enemies you will ever find outside of bosses.
I really wonder what person was in such a bad mood that decided, yeah, let's add Dead Rocks into the game.
Yeah, that asks some big questions there, doesn't it? All right, Oopla now heading into the dark, into Skull Woods. Now he could full clear this now that he's got that fire rod, so this could be a good play. We still have 1 item unaccounted for, as far as I recall, so this could pay off.
Oopla only happened to make 1 trip in here because we already have that fire rod, whereas SuperNinTaylor came up here before checking out those flippers.
It being a crystal dungeon, there's no reason not to go here, so get it done in 1 shot. I like Oopla's strategy, very efficient. This is where I can say what routes you make. How you route your seed is just as important as what gambles you make, because if you route efficiently, you can easily clear through stuff quickly, and those gambles don't feel as risky.
Yeah, it's the strange thing about the Link to the Past tech is, like, it's beneficial because, yeah, it lets you do some checks more efficiently, but unless you understand the logic and understand how to route all your checks more efficiently, it's like, it doesn't give you that much of a benefit.
Yeah, obviously movement's a lot more different as compared to Super Metroid. Super Metroid movement is a lot more essential, but good routing is the key to Link to the Past. I mean, obviously, if you're moving efficiently on your own, that helps, but routing is the key factor, making sure you know exactly where you're going to follow that logic. That is one thing chat's bringing up that is interesting, is that we are 43 minutes into the seed, and we have still not found the Morph Ball or opened up Super Metroid in any capacity. That is very rare.
Yeah, we've only had our one beam upgrade as well, which is Plasma. Now we do have X-Ray, so luckily if we find some Charge Beam, we can maybe make very short work of those bosses. But apart from that, not very much available to even just help with movement in Super Metroid. We do know that the space jump is sitting lurking on the desert ledge, but we still need a way to access it.
Yeah, we need the book or the mirror to be able to get to that at this point, and we have not seen either of those two items in play. All right, and Taylor now first one to enter the back end of Skull Woods. He's going to go straight to Mothula. Probably going to, if he gets the item off of Mothula, he's done. But if not, he'll have to go back and check that chest. Though I do think that's a more efficient route.
Yeah, that chest in the back of Skull Woods is quite a pain to get in and out of, especially if you don't have the mirror, or if you don't have low health that you could just death warp off of the Gyptos maybe.
Yeah, so basically kill Mothula. If you get the item off of that, you've saved yourself a lot of time. If you have to go to that chest, well, you were going to have to do it anyway, so it's the same amount of time as it would have been. So either way, efficient. Very nice quick fight there from SuperNinTaylor, which is definitely showing his skill as a runner, and it's the map, so the last item is in that chest. He will have to go back around, but again, it would have taken the same amount of time as if he had checked it in the first place, so it doesn't really cost him any time to do so. Actually, if anything, this still saves him time, because once he checks that chest, he can just save and quit out.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor's already did with Thieves Town, so doesn't have to go back and check those Villager Outcast checks. Whereas Oopla is likely going to finish Skull Woods and then head south into Village of Outcasts and do the chess game and the Seaship House, such and such.
And that's it for that.
Yeah, so do we go to Pendant Palace of Darkness or do we go to Ice Palace at this point?
Neither of which is very favorable. There are still a few overworld checks if you're willing to go. Like I said, we still have that Smith chain in play. That is still fully clearable right now if they want to go there. The only downside is that without the mirror, they'd have to do world tours, and that's probably why they're avoiding it at this point. But it looks like SuperNinTaylor is making the play on Ice Palace.
Yep, 3 items here compared to the 6 and available in Palace of Darkness, but with this being a crystal, you're gonna have to do it anyway.
That's true. That's probably his thinking behind this, is that get this one out of the way since you're gonna have to do it no matter what. Plus, it's a lot easier. You have a lot more access, especially if you know sequence breaking, which I know a lot of our runners know. Ice Palace Bomb Jump. We'll have to see how this plays out.
As much as there is the Ice Palace Bomb Jump, I know most of our runners would prefer to just go mode Ice Palace if possible.
Oh, absolutely. If you can go mode Ice Palace, you're going to go mode Ice Palace, but that is clearly not happening here.
Yeah, I think unfortunately Oopla got grabbed by one of the wall masters in that previous room.
Never a fan of those things, but nicely sent picking back up, and then Taylor now working his way through the Ice Palace. I always get a laugh because I live out in Tampa. I live like outside of Tampa, Florida, and the old stadium that used to be in Tampa was called the Ice Palace.
I bet you it didn't look anything like this Ice Palace though.
Not even close. We got the Ice Palace Bomb Jump. Nicely executed there by SuperNinTaylor. Like I said, I've seen SuperNinTaylor run. This guy is a really good Link to the Past runner, and I know his Super Metroid skills are certainly nothing to sneeze at, so this guy's he knows what he's doing. It's clear. As Oopla takes down Mothula very efficiently as well. Both these runners really showing their stuff today.
Yeah, I've occasionally seen SuperNinTaylor do the Super Metroid and Zelda combo weekly race. that usually happens on Sundays, but I've not really seen Oopla too much. So I'm kind of curious to see how Oopla performs.
He's been doing really good so far. His routing is all right. It's a little bit of improvement, but he hasn't been doing too bad at all. Like, don't think I'm knocking him here. He's been doing really good. And in terms of like combat efficiency and movement, he's actually been doing really good. So this has been a very interesting race to watch.
It's minor little things as well, because SuperNinTaylor has half magic, which you would get if you did the digging game first before heading into Skullwoods and heading south, just heading north through Dark World. So it's basically a 50-50 gamble whether or not you decide to go clockwise or anti-clockwise around Dark High Road.
Yeah, that's where that rounding comes in there. There's is that our first item in Ice Palace? That power bomb pack? Oh my god. And there's the big key. Good time to find that. You want to make sure you have that before you've got to look at that big chest, so that'll help route Ice Palace a little bit easier.
Yeah, very early key is really nice to find in Side Ice Palace, because you could just usually go through that door.
Ooh, gravity suit!
But it's still no use to us.
Yeah, I know. Just can't use it right now, but at least when he finally does get access to Super Metroid, that'll give him some more options to go. That's gonna put Meridia in check. Even our tracker Santrace 316 is like, finally something to mark on the Super Metroid side. Haven't had much of that lately, have we?
And believe it or not, it is a combo randomizer. Super Metroid is in here somewhere.
Again, that's what we find funny. We're almost in, like, we're 50 minutes in and we still haven't really even touched Super Metroid yet. I've seen it happen, but it does not happen very often.
Imagine Morph Ball being Go Mode or something. That's gonna be stupid.
I don't even think that's possible, but my god, if it was, that would be just ridiculous. One of our chat members says that they one time did have Moon Pearl Go Mode. Alright, big chest, and that is all of our items in Ice Palace. So, at this point, don't even have to go to the other chest, just go, well, he already checked everything, so he's just going down, taking down Cold Stare and finishing things up.
Yeah, it's definitely the time that bomb jump comes in handy for Ice Palace is when you don't actually have the red cane to put on that block.
That's a half magic really coming in handy there for SuperNinTaylor, getting blast through that ice shell. Gonna have a hard time with the puffballs, unfortunately, because he's still only working Master Sword right now. He has not been to Eastern Palace, so that's where the next sword upgrade was. So he's gonna also be using his Fire Rod to mitigate some of that damage. Oh no! SuperNinTaylor taking a death in Ice Palace. That is the worst.
Yep, I don't think you can get a worse death in a Link to the Past dungeon than dying to Cold Stare.
Oh, yeah. Because now he has to go all the way back. And he's going to have to form up magic, too. He's out. He has to quit. He can't even go back in. Oh, yeah, get your S in chat, folks. That is horrible to watch.
Here's the question, though. Do you go back to Ice Palace, or do you just decide there was nothing of value there, I've got everything I needed, so let's go just check somewhere else?
He's going to have to come back eventually. That's a crystal dungeon. If it was a pendant, yeah, I'd say leave it there and just call it a day, but he has to go back eventually. That's going to be a major time loss for him if Oopla is able to capitalize on that.
Yeah, if Oopla can press his advantage with the temper charge, he definitely has the opportunity to pretty much level the playing field completely.
Absolutely. It's moments like this where you start to see whether or not the skill of a runner is up to par. Because if Oopla can take it, if Oopla is able to capitalize on this game, he doesn't know that this happened. But if he routes efficiently enough, he could capitalize on this and just completely overtake the race. I think SuperNinTaylor is going to make sure he comes prepared. He's going to buy some blue potions here. He's got more than enough to pay for it, so get some blue potions and be prepared if he ever has to do that again.
Yep, despite being on red mail, Coldstair still hits hard. Probably one of the hardest hitting enemies in the game, except from, well, trying to take a hug off Ganon.
Looks like he's prepped up now. He's going to try again. He's like, I ain't letting this beat me. So again, looking at my tracker, we still got pod in play. That hasn't been checked. I think the only reason they're hesitating on that is because, except for the first chest, they can't check anything there without sequence breaking. So instead, Oopla is going to be doing the Smith chain. Or at the very least, he's doing Peg Cave. He's going to knock that out first.
Yeah, another thing you tend to see runners doing is they'll wait till they have the mirror before they go anywhere near pod, and then you could just mirror it and finish off Eastern while you're there.
Exactly. The pod Eastern combo play. Nothing in Peg Cave. So if he's going to do Smith Chain, he's going to have to do it the hard way. Now, with the randomizer, we set it up so that if you have the Smith and the purple chest in the Dark World, you can save and quit, and they will still be with you when you respawn a Light World. That way you can avoid having to have the mirror, because otherwise that could be very, very painful to do. So we kind of set that up to make it just a little bit easier.
Yep, and they both travel with you with the flute as well. So if you decide to float away to some random location, they follow. So definitely brings that fast travel into making it more efficient.
But I am starting to get curious. Where is that morph ball? Like, we're running out of easy checks at this point. Like I said, we've got Mire Shed, we've got the Smith Chain, and then that first chest in pod. Logically speaking, that's it.
It's just going to be the pods, come on. I have seen far too many of these randomizers where it's like, pending pod, yeah, I'll skip it. Nope, everything important.
It's always the place you think it's least likely going to be.
Majority of the time, it's just the flippers on the red cane. But for this circumstance, it could be something else.
Alright, Oopla gonna finally pick up that Smith. And Taylor tried to get Coldstair in the corner, but with only Master Sword, that is not easy to do. But he has taken out 2 of the puffballs now. And if he's desperate enough, he can always use that blue potion if he starts running low on health. But with 1 puff left, I think he's in the clear. Also, shout out to SpeedGaming 3, who just joined us here with a party of 55. We're right in the middle of our Super Metroid Link to the Past combo randomizer tournament race here, and SuperNinTaylor just picked up his 4th crystal.
We are still missing the morph ball.
And for whatever reason, Oopla tried to go into Ice Palace with the Smith.
Yep, the Smith does not like it there. It's too cold. Needs to be nice and warm next to a furnace.
Yeah. And SuperNinTaylor, he looks like he's going to make the Meyer play.
Yep, we do have our 2 checks inside the Meyer shed. For better or for worse, we can check what the medallion is, the Meyer. And of course, we can also check that one location inside Super Metroid in Lower Norfair.
And we've got Quake required for both dungeons.
We do not want to see a Quake right now.
No, we don't. Nothing in Meyer Cave. Smith's also not paying out much. So we're basically down to the purple chest and pod.
It looks like Oopla's now returning to Ice Palace, so that purple chest is going to have to wait.
And let's...
You don't have Morph Ball, you can't get through the barrier.
Oh, that's right, he can't even go down there if he wanted to. He doesn't even have Morph Ball.
It looks like it was just bombs.
So, not really worth it then. And he's going to reset out. So, we're down to 2 locations. First chest and pod, and purple chest. 2 very out-of-the-way checks. Yes, they could go, if they sequence break, they could go deeper into pod. But, in all honesty, this is what we have. By logic, it has to be one of those 2 locations.
In fairness, it's only the first chest if it doesn't contain a key. If it contains a key, then there is more to it open.
That's
have
true.
to understand the key logic at that point.
That is very true.
What I think is more frustrating is we haven't found Screw Attack or Speed Booster, which is something that, again, opens up some checks in Super Metroid at least. It's like we haven't found anything.
I've never seen it get this ridiculous. Again, yeah, I've said I've seen long checks without Morph Ball, but like you said, no speed booster, no space jump still out of the way. Like, all the things you would normally do to mitigate not having Morph Ball, and even those are not available. To answer your question, chat, Zora simply had a heart container. Nothing else.
Anxiety now again to SuperNinTaylor questioning whether or not the Dark Cross actually has something important that you left it all along. And it's
Nope.
just 20 minutes.
Yeah, we are officially over an hour in, and we have not even touched Super Metroid aside from one very brief check at the very beginning to check the vanilla Morph Ball location. That is it. That is... I've never seen that.
SuperNinTaylor looks like he's going for the Smith chain, so yeah, we're running out of checks. It's most likely going to be Independent Pod.
If it's not in the purple chest, it has to be.
And this definitely gives Oopla time to catch up because they're covering each other's bases essentially.
Answer question in chat. Yes, Oopla did check those first 2 spots in Super Metroid. They were nothing.
Also, that raises the question, at what point does SuperNinTaylor just decide what if it's in those two checks? And decides to go check them.
Very quick fight for Oopla there. That's going to help him catch up a little bit.
Yep, managed to stick them in the corner for a little bit, and then one of the puffs got out and just knocked Oopla to the side, and then, yep, they were all loose at that point.
All right, so I think Taylor's going to be the first one to check the purple chest. This could be the big moment here, folks. He's also going to check Peg Cave because he hasn't done that yet. Again, has to do it the slow way. Does not have the Pegasus boots. And Oopla going back into Ice Palace. I guess he missed a chest. So he's going back in and grabbing that real quick. Fortunately, it's going to cost him time.
Yeah, Oopla didn't do the right side, but has two keys, so can now just take the sort of semi-shortcut and just go through the key door.
All right, let's keep our eyes on SuperNinTaylor here. Moment of truth. Is the morph ball in the purple chest? And no, it is in pod.
Don't skip out on your pendants, folks. It is kind of important.
We have last locationed the morph ball. Period. No question.
It says it's the morph ball. It could be something else entirely.
Well, whatever it is, we're last locationing it. Period.
Could be the mirror, and then they have to do Swamp Palace, and then it could be something else. Could be the book. We could go read the pedestal.
Some people in the chat are calling for morph ball on ped.
It can happen, folks. Pretty much any item in Super Metroid can be on the pedestal.
Oh my lord. That would just be cruel if that were the case. And it is actually a good thing Oopla went back because he did not get the gravity suit, and that would have been pretty painful to go into Meridia without gravity. And now we head inside what Dr. Bob Tastic likes to call the Mullet Mansion. Because when it comes to Link to the Past in this particular dungeon, most of the keys tend to be towards the front, while most of the most of the non-dungeon items tend to be located towards the back. So like any good mullet, it's business in the front, party in the back. So we did get our first key, so as you called earlier, he will be able to dive a little bit deeper in. We've got 5 potential items in here, so we're bound to find something. In fact, we're guaranteed to find something. Just a matter of what is it.
Is it in the basement? The question is, where is it?
Yeah. Go to the around to this check here. Yeah. There's another key. There, see what I see? All the keys are in the front. Yeah, that's the other thing too. We know it ain't in the dark room unless he finds the lamp in here somewhere. So we'll have to see.
point, I think it has to be the back room, the one above the U-shaped basement, the dark basement. Or else it's one in the harmless hellway.
And SuperNinTaylor going to use the bottle glitch to bypass the bow requirement here so that he can get into this room.
Yep, for some, I suppose more for optimization reasons, the game only checks to see if you've killed all enemies by simply checking if they're on screen or not. So you can...
Never quite understood that. There's our first two items. There's our first two items there. Not much. 3 more checks. And if my logic is correct, actually only 2 of them, because one of them has to be in the dark room or on Pelmassar. Yeah, because there's the 2 items up here. That's the only 2 chests he can check. All the other ones would be lamp locked. And it's Pegasus boot. That's boots. That opens up 2 checks.
But those 2 checks are where the logic is requiring you to go at this point.
Yep, there's the big key.
Oopla looks like he's heading towards Palace of Darkness as well, so not that far behind. Probably check Catfish
all these checks first. And SuperNinTaylor says he's got that fire rod. He is checking the other chests in here. Again, these are still technically out of logic, but he can get through here because he has the ability to light up lamps.
I don't think there is any lamps inside the dark maze, is there?
I'm not sure. I could have sworn there was lamps in the dark maze, but I could be wrong. It's been a while.
SuperNinTaylor making it look so easy.
Did not get anything value, it looks like, as far as Link to the Past.
Yep, the only problem is Super Metroid items don't tend to appear over the dark layer. So sometimes you just don't get to see what it is. It can be a nice surprise.
All right, so SuperNinTaylor gonna check over at King's Tomb.
And then we'll need to check Bog Rocks after that.
Oh no!
That's not what you want to see.
No, it is not! We've got Bacon Coin!
Mire anyone? Green pendant mire
no.
anyone without red cane or lamp? Anyone at all? Any takers?
Oh, this seed be trolling now. Yeah, let's hope it's Bonk Cave. What do we got here? Oh, it's a bottle. Oh, this seed is just being cruel now.
Watch us find book and have to go check the tablets now.
Oh, don't even joke like that, man. They're suffering enough.
If there's one thing I'm known for, I can create pretty horrible seats for people just out of, hey, look, let's go check all these items.
God, people think I'm bad.
Could find the shovel, that could lead to the book instead. Maybe some powder in there.
So Misery Mire time for SuperNinTaylor. And what's worse, there's only 2 items in this dungeon, and one of them could be on Vitreous. So we may only find one item in here. And chat, pointing out, fire is also green pendants. There is a possibility of a third item check, but again, that's only if we find the Cane of Samaria. If we don't find that, then there's only 1 to 2 potential items we could find.
Yep, the sucky thing about Meyer is the majority of the chests are just keys.
And even if he does Sequence Break and does the Dark Rooms in Meyer, it's not going to be any difference. Whatever item that Vitreous has is not going to be in Logic, which means it's not likely anything we're looking for. So it would be pointless to go pull that Sequence Break. So even if he does find the Cane of Samaria, it's not going to help him any. He'd have to find both the cane and the lamp in this dungeon, and by that point, there'd be no point in going after. Then you'd have to just hope that Green Pendant has something. That's a very cruel chain.
Well, the lamp could lead you back towards Palace of Darkness, but since SuperNinTaylor's already did the Darker Rooms, we don't have to worry too much about that.
Exactly. Oh, man. Alright, so worst cutscene in the game for Link's the Past. Not the longest, just the worst, because you literally have to sit there and do nothing. There's the big vanilla big key. Oh, man.
It's not even like Meyer has a friendly layout. It's the worst place for the big key as well.
Absolutely. And we've got 3 chests left to check. There's the map, not what we want to see. We want to see an item. Worse yet, SuperNinTaylor was forced to use his blue potion because he only had 1 heart left, and that fire snake would have killed him. Just gonna check this chest here real quick. There's the other kid. There's the last key. It's down to the big chest.
Let's get a drum roll ready for this last reveal. It's the morph ball!
There it is! The morph ball in the big chest at Meyer!
17 minutes in.
My God!
An hour and 17 minutes.
What is going on with this thing?
Pendant Meyer, without lamp, without red cane, and you had to go on all the way into the back of Pod to get the crate to open it in the first place. And Pod also being a pendant.
Immediately do Gauntlet.
And after all that, still only 2 energy tanks for Super Metroid.
The scene was just cruel. the SuperNinTaylor got caught there. Thankfully, he's got at least got a little bit of help, but he does need to be careful. He does not want to stay in that acid too long. All right, first item in the gauntlet. Bloomerang.
Yeah, so for anyone curious about the gravity suit, it has been changed slightly so that it doesn't make the Vary suit completely redundant. So the gravity suit no longer protects you from what would be deemed as environmental damage. So things like lava and acid will still hit for its full pelt essentially. As shown by being down to 56 energy already.
Yep. Get that last little bit of health there, otherwise he'd have to risk crystal flashing. Now we're in the back end of the gauntlet here. Got 2 items down here. Oh, I think he's still gonna be able to get one of them. But he picked the right side. He got the lamp. Quick check here at Terminator. Useless.
Yep, probably happy with their health building Link to the Past, considering they've got red mail.
Yep, he's gonna head over into Green Brinstar here. You know, with everything he's got quite a few checks to open up here.
Yep, we got the full Brinstar loop, and then we can even check out Meridia. And if we find something like, well, we know what the space jump is, well, we could potentially have access to Rick's ship if we find something important, like the mirror or the book.
Nice mock ball there. Not much in that first spot. Oh! Someone call my buddy Phantom Ryu, because that's gotta be Kane! That's gotta be Kane! Chat was joking about it, but they were calling it Red Kane and Green Brinstar.
So what's the chances Vitreous has something there? Because we found both the lamp and the red cane.
You're right, that's ridiculous. Oh, we got the final arrow there for SuperNinTaylor, but he missed the item that's behind it, so he might have to go back for that.
Yep, that single arrow, absolutely terrifying. No runner ever wants to pick it up. Decided it would be safer to fall down instead of picking it up.
Climbing up the Etikun wall.
And there's Oopla just received their Quake medallion from the King's Tomb. And we'll hopefully be heading to Meyer soon.
I don't think he has got much choice. I'm pretty sure he's already checked everything else too. Still, oh, he's probably not happy to see that Quake medallion at all. Alright, was it worth the trouble to go all the way back? No, a little extra health, I guess, but... Alright, further on in, making his way into Pink Brinstar now. Kinda love that mock ball, giving you a little extra speed to get through everything. Now we're going to start to see some real plays here now that Super Metroid is pretty much, at the most part, fully available outside of a few things. Not much up there, but he does need to go up there because there's another check on the inside. There's a hidden wall here to another area.
Yep, this is the Mission Impossible room. The idea is that you fall through the roof, collect the item, and get back up before the crumble block reappears. Unfortunately, just 5 rupees.
Yep, not very good start so far outside of that red cane. We still got quite a few items down here. We've got not much going on near Charge Beam. Just trying to get up so you can go check Spore Spawn Supers. Nice shot there. Nicely done.
I mean, we talk about the finding the red cane being nice, but so far it's not actually required for the seed, because unless the big key for Gannis Tower is on the right hand side, you don't need the red cane at all.
That's true. All right, next stop for SuperNinTaylor is the wave gate room here. Most likely going to be trying to set up the wave gate glitch. Not the easiest trick to do. I've seen a lot of runners, even the best runners, struggle with this. But if you can pull it off, it can save you a lot of time. First shot. Once again, SuperNinTaylor showing just how skilled he is at this. Easily able to open up that door. And not worth the trouble.
Put so many of these randomizers that is like, there's a very easy setup if you have high jump boots, but it's like, I can't do it with high jump boots. I'm just so used to not having them.
Understandable there. And there's Bombos. That is completely useless at this point. Green Hill Zone. Looks like he's going to head up into Blue Brinstar.
Surely you would check the item here first before going up to Blue Bryn.
Well, if he's going back, if he's going to come back that way eventually anyway, he can easily just check it on the way out. So it's not really a bad call. It's just a missile pack there.
I'd like to see if you go all the way up to was essentially bomb Teresa's, like you pretty much just may as well go down Red Tower at that. There'd be almost no point coming back to Green Hills.
Yeah, fair point, fair point. And Oopla finally getting his morph ball, probably not happy to have to go through all that trouble. Nothing at Alpha Power Bombs. Or Alpha Missiles, I should say, I'm sorry. Get my items mixed up again. Vanilla E-Tank.
A very nice damage boost to get it on the first go.
Yeah, that's not easy to do. Again, I've seen a lot of even good runners struggle with that damage boost.
Yeah, it's one of these really panicky things where it's like, for the first 2 swoops, the enemy is in the right location, and then after that, you have to sort of wing it.
The SuperNinTaylor now in the Billy Mays room, as we like to call it. Got an E-Tank there, but wait, there's more! Another E-Tank! 2 for the price of 1!
So that's where all of Super Metroid health has been lying. It's been lying in Super Metroid.
You know, like it's supposed to be, but that's not the point of this!
So Oopla trying to meme here and like avoid Brinstar at all costs. Try and do the Brinstar skip.
Looks like he's going down Red Tower. Alright, chicken old mother brain here on Taylor's side. Vanilla missile pack there.
Oopla does, of course, need to remember to activate his plasma beam.
Definitely don't want to forget that.
Yeah, as a slight little precaution, if you find Plasma Beam and Spazer inside Link to the Past, they will automatically deactivate themselves when you come into Super Metroid. And it's mainly so that you can't accidentally fire the beam with both of them active.
Oh, we've got literacy. Book him a Dora over at Omega Missiles.
Right, so there's going to be nothing in Meridian, nothing in the rest of Brinstar. I may have to go back out and check the tablet.
It does also open up Desert, so that space jump's now in play.
It's true, that would definitely help with just general movement around Super Metroid, considering we don't have Speed Booster or High Jump.
In all honesty, I think after SuperNinTaylor checks Bomb Trees, though, he's right there. I'd say stop in and grab that real quick. Take no time at all, and it might end up helping him in the long run. Meanwhile, Oopla checking out Spazer. Not much there, though.
Yeah, to answer Sandra's question, does the space jump put Dragon in play? Yes, it does, because that would give us our access over there. Because we can use the back door from the I think it's called the shopping mall in Dark World down next to
the shopping mall.
Yeah,
that's where it is. It's
such a weird name for a location.
I know, especially since I don't really get it either, but that's what it's called. All right, and Taylor actually making the play over to Rex ship.
It's one of the strange differences between the Super Metroid and the Link to the Past, where it's like, Super Metroid, every room has its own name. Whereas in Link to the Past, they're just generic rooms.
Whoa, we got Various Suit!
It's almost vanilla. It's almost like Kraid had it the whole time. We just decided, nah, I'm going to put it somewhere safe.
French vanilla. And SuperNinTaylor going to be using the gravity suit glitch to get through that through the moat over to Rex ship. Meanwhile, Oopla now about to be the first one to take on Kraid. Will he take him to the prom, or will he reject him with a quick kill? Rejected! Nicely done by Oopla.
Personally, still one of the hardest tricks in Super Metroid to ever do.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy there. SuperNinTaylor checking out Harmless Spike Room there. On his way to his first big boss fight in Super Metroid, good old Fantoon. Thankfully, he's got plenty of health and good complement of missiles, so he should be fine. Should be a pretty easy fight for him, honestly. And Plasma Beam, I should also add.
Yeah, unfortunately, we just don't have that charge beam to make the Plasma Beam any real use against bosses.
Indeed.
Plus, if we had the charge beam, we could just microwave them.
Now with Fantoon, for those who don't know, basically the trick with him is you cannot use super missiles until the very last shot. Because while super missiles do double damage compared to most other monsters that get hit with it, If he is not killed by it, it will send him into an enraged state, which makes him invulnerable to damage for a period of time, and he launches wave after wave of those blue fireballs, and it can be a real time waster, so you want to be very careful in timing your super missile shot. Oopla over in Upper North Fair here going to be checking Ice Beam.
Yep, making early use of the various that we found. Go check out all of Norfair.
Yeah, now he's got that various suit. He can easily just waltz right on in.
And also, if we went and got that space jump, we'd be able to pretty much go all the way down and full clear Ridley as well.
Now it goes Fantoon for SuperNinTaylor. Nicely done. No trouble at all. We're also checking Crumbled Tower, finding nothing there. Doesn't have to worry about that little
Yep, we don't have a speed booster, so if we want to go and visit Croc, we need to go the long way around.
Well, the runners checking different areas here. Oopla now heading over to high jump room. We got 3 items in here, one of which was kind of useless right out the gate, but we got 2 more. He's going to check that. You know what? He needs some meat tanks. Let's go ahead and take it up.
I, for one, never like to turn down energy tanks, despite having 13 out of the 14.
SuperNinTaylor now heading over to Spiky Room of Death. One of the more infuriating rooms in this game. Not only through this gauntlet of spike traps, but not to mention the jump that comes after it. Not a place you want to be.
Yep, adequately named because even at 100%, that room will kill you fast.
Unfortunately, Oopla cannot go too far into Upper North Fair for one simple reason. He does not have the high jump boots, which are actually required in logic for very obvious reasons, and Spiky Room of Death, completely useless.
Well, I think deciding where to go, whether it's worth following that book for a couple of checks, maybe go and pick up that space jump versus just checking Meridia, essentially.
Ooh, nice little skip there for SuperNinTaylor.
Rank 3, yes, the book does put the Pyramid Fairy in logic because we can now clear Desert Palace.
Indeed.
Speaking of high jump.
Oh, hey! Looks like
we need speed booster.
That's a problem. We can't get it. We need speed booster.
Although that's just bad because having speed booster without high jump sucks.
Absolutely. Again, this seed is being cool. Ooh, powder over there for SuperNinTaylor.
So we found 2 fetch quests that we should probably go and maybe go and do something about.
SuperNinTaylor now working on the back end of the wrecked ship. Just gotta get the item in the sky there. That's gonna be tricky to do, though. You're gonna have to use those floating platforms. Yeah, not an easy thing to do.
This is one of these situations where going back and getting that space jump would have been very helpful.
Absolutely, he could have just easily just space jumped all the way up there and he would have been fine. But now he's going to have to use these platforms and get really good, time his jumps very carefully in order to get that item and hope that it's actually worth the trouble.
Yeah, because trying to make these jumps even without using the without high jump boots is very difficult.
Well, thankfully there's nothing up there, so doesn't have to worry about that anymore. Yep. So we've got 2 items left to check. So who's up for a little game of bowling?
Right, so if I understand bowling right, what you do is you grab a ball, you walk up to the aisle, you just walk all the way down the aisle, and then after a certain point you just fall through the floor. I believe I'm playing it correctly.
Oopla now finally going through some of the checks that we saw SuperNinTaylor do earlier. And nothing there. All that's left in direct ship is gravity suit. Vanilla gravity suit, I should say. Oh! Speed booster!
I don't know if I would want to have found that there or not.
Well, this does work out for him in some ways, because when he gets to Meridia, he can get that high jump boots right away, so that might be of help. And again, he could just go to desert, get the space jump, and be done with it.
It looks like Oopla's making that way to desert.
Oh, look at SuperNinTaylor. He just found the bow. That just opened up quite a bit in Link to the Past.
Yep, definitely interesting now whether or not the seed was expecting you to grab the book and go get the space jump, or was it expecting you to find grapple or something and get over to wreck ship.
So now we are just a mirror away from Link to the Past Go mode. And there's our 4th bottle there for Oopla.
Item 1 of 2 in desert. Although with the completion of desert gives us 2 more checks with the pyramid fairy, so could you really say it's 4 checks in desert?
Yeah, you could argue that, yeah. Thankfully we have Pegasus boots, the torch won't be an issue depending on what's on it. which is nothing to use, so we're pretty much done here.
Yeah, Oopla's still picking up because we haven't found charge beam yet, so ammo is a concern for dealing with. Well, weirdly, we've probably got enough ammo because it's 30 super missiles, and you can complement that with some missiles if you like. But Mother Brain being the final boss obviously has a humongous health pool, which you need to make sure you've got enough missiles and super missiles to take her down.
Or at least the right, all the necessary beams to mitigate that. You got Charge Ice Plasma, you're pretty much set at that point. Wave helps too.
I think it all comes down to where is that charge placed, because technically all items is always possible for these seeds. So if charge is in the back of something really nasty like Turtle Rock, are you really going to waste all that time going there, or would you just pump her through all of ammo?
Yeah, it all depends. SuperNinTaylor now working his way through Green Hill Zone again, while Oopla taking on Land Molus. And a little extra help there for SuperNinTaylor, and that is another crystal for Oopla. SuperNinTaylor remembered to check Waterway as well. Not a bad call there.
Yeah, we now have some proper route diversions, because SuperNinTaylor obviously... Oh god, it's the shovel. Speaking of fetch items, SuperNinTaylor finding the speed booster obviously will access high jump boots when he gets to Meridia, and that will open up all of Meridia essentially, because you can now get through Bottoon. So it's going to be different to see whether or not the play of returning to Link to the Past with the book for things like Space Jump versus making that gamble into Wreck Ship is worth it.
Oopla taking the cue. He's got that big bomb. He's going to check out the Pyramid Fairy. Got 2 item checks in there. This could be something big. Again, we're still looking for that mirror, but there's still quite a few Super Metroid items you can find as well. Still got a lot of beams still left on the table. Then to mention, Spring Ball, Screw Attack, Grapple Beam is still in play.
Yeah, so there's a discussion in chat going on just now. So Ganon's Tower is programmed in a certain way that there can be no Super Metroid progression items in there for that seed alone. So just because you find Space Jump, that means Grapple can be in GT because you don't need it. But in a different seed, you could find Grapple out in the world and find Space Jump inside Ganon's Tower, for example. So it's entirely relevant to the seed. But yeah, the premise behind it is that you don't have to full clear Super Link to the Past before clearing Super Metroid.
Yeah. By the way, we did find Spring Ball over in Pyramid Fairy, so that might make travel a little bit easier for Oopla there.
Yeah, Spring Ball is one of these things, like the earlier you get it, the more benefit it is to you, because particularly early route in a Brinstar, if you've only got 10 power bombs, that Spring Ball will save you a lot of time farming, because you just don't have to farm the bombs, because you just jump out of the gaps. SuperNinTaylor unfortunately finding the downside to the speed booster, which is they eat your jumps. Because the idea is you should already have the high jump boost before you get it. The two sort of complement each other.
SuperNinTaylor now to check out Gold Chorizo. Sees not much there on the first item, but thankfully it does mean he doesn't have to go around. What about over here? Just some money. And he's resetting.
SuperNinTaylor now heading down to Kraid. I didn't see if he picked up his fairy suit, but I would imagine he would have if coming down here.
Now it's SuperNinTaylor's turn to see if he's going to take Kraid to the prom. Oopla was able to pull it off earlier. Let's see how Taylor does. Oh, closed him out a little too early. He's going to the prom.
SuperNinTaylor unfortunately purchased the Kraid stand-up DLC.
Still a pretty quick fight overall, not too bad. To be fair, with how quickly Kraid closed his mouth, it was more like Kraid was like, "We're going to the prom whether you like it or not."
So Sneaky666 asking where the bow was. The bow was on the Criteria Power Bombs. SuperNinTaylor did a little bit of a sequence break over to Wreck Ship, found the speed booster, and used that to get up there. I find it bizarre though that Oopla didn't go check the Criteria Power Bombs because they've reset to the ship and has space jump, so that would have been a nice little check to go and roll out.
Now it's Oopla's turn to take on Fantoon, while SuperNinTaylor going to be checking out old Upper North Fair. Can't talk tonight. Also, shout out to the crew over to all our fans from SpeedGaming 1. 80, great crew of 85. Welcome to our run here at the Super Metroid Link to the Past Combo Randomizer Tournament, Oopla versus SuperNinTaylor. It's been a crazy seed thus far, ladies and gentlemen. You have missed a lot.
Yep, we went from a 1 hour 17 morph ball find to now nearly 2 hours, and all we need is the mirror now. Oopla getting the very nice zipper at the end there to finish off Fantoon before he vanished off screen.
Nicely done. Now we just gotta wait for that moment where one of our runners finally finds that mirror. We are literally a mirror away from full go mode. Or I would say no mode at least, because we still need to find, I think SuperNinTaylor still needs to find one item. He needs to either get the space jump or the high jump boot.
We do know, however, that he will likely find that just of natural course of exploring the game, with them being available in the main street from Meridia.
That is true. Once he gets finished done in Norfair, he's going to head right up to Meridia. He's probably just going to grab whatever's on Main Street, and then he's going to find out, oh, it's the high jump boots. Well, I'm good.
Yep, one of those. I was not expecting that, but I'll take it.
This is the problem we have here, is that we have a lot of item checks that haven't been cleared yet. Any one of them could have that mirror. We've got a lot in Norfair we haven't checked. We've got nearly all of Meridia we haven't checked yet. It could be anywhere.
Yeah, I'm wondering if Oopla feels behind, because Oopla decided not to check the energy tank for the wrecked ship.
This one thing I've learned about a lot of our runners, they always feel like they're behind. Unless they are doing so well that they're just blazing through, they always feel like they're a bit behind the rest of whatever opponent they're facing.
What would be real sad is if this comes down to the big key for GT being on the right hand side, because Oopla is still relying on what seems to be the Brent Star skip and hoping that it doesn't rely and it doesn't open up anything.
Yeah, SuperNinTaylor having a little trouble getting up Main Street there, but he sees what's there. He's like, I don't know, is he gonna go for it? He's gotta go for it.
Yeah, check what the crab missiles are and then just come back for it.
He'll have a little trouble setting up his Shine Spark here. Beat Booster's not going off where he wants it to.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Of course, it would help if he turned it on.
Yep, that also helps. For the checks inside Eastern Palace, we saw everything but the last boss, because we didn't have the boat at the time. We know it's where Oopla got their Temper Sword, which is why SuperNinTaylor's still lurking away on the Master Sword.
Alright, SuperNinTaylor now heading to Mama Turtle room.
If I remember right, it was just a knee tank inside the wall.
Yeah, it was definitely nothing important, I remember that. Yep. Still a little extra health, can't complain. Oopla now getting his speed booster.
Be interesting to see where Oopla takes the speed booster on the space jump. Because right now I think it's all about that power bomb in the sky check.
Alright. Taylor now finally entering a new area here with Yellow Meridia. Not finding much early on, but he's going to head over to Watering Hole. Alright, let's see what we find. Oh, just a little extra energy. Not much else.
Starting to think SuperNinTaylor's a fan, just picking up all the energy tanks.
Just trying to keep himself safe. Doesn't want us dying again.
Yeah, dying in Super Metroid is probably the most punishing thing you can have, because it resets everything you've just checked. At least the death in Link to the Past is just like, okay, save quit, return to the menu, or return to wherever you were. It's like, nope, Super Metroid, you'll lose all your progress.
And that's especially painful with bosses like Ridley, because I have seen so many runners struggle with Ridley because they went early, they didn't have enough health, or don't have various suits, they had to do it hell run style, and it's just brutal to watch. Alright, Taylor checking Aqueduct. There's another E-Tank for him. And Swagnet.
So Oopla now going to be picking up their bowl, and we'll put them on the same position where they only require the mirror to finish.
Dude, it's really Taylor now checking out the sand pits. I'll start with the left sand pit here. Yeah, you're not gonna be able to see what that is. You're going through the hard way there, my friend. Nope, nothing of value up there.
Just some
Or
money.
Nope. Just resource is gonna quit at reset and check the right sand pit.
Yep, we fortunately haven't killed Dragon, so trying to get the plasma beam isn't really worth it, and we don't have the ice beam or the grapple beam, so checking Shack Tool is not viable at the moment.
And yet, that looks exactly like where SuperNinTaylor is heading.
Oopla looks to be taking that bowl, gonna finish off Eastern Palace.
And that takes care of Both Wound.
Yeah, so the important thing on Oopla's case is if Oopla finds this mirror and gets the GT first, maybe they can find the big key and not in the right-hand side. And then the Brinstar skip works.
Yep.
You've very rarely seen Brinstar skip actually works. I know from the weekly race that it's very popular for people to try it, but it's like Brinstar always has something important. This may be one of these dates where it just isn't required.
We'll have to see. Meanwhile, SuperNinTaylor on his way to Dragon. Fortunately, we don't have Grapple Beam, we don't have Microwave, so we're going to have to rely on simple missile strats and Speed Boost and Shine Sparks as we get a little Keiko love up in here. Our little mini Dragons.
Yep, good old-fashioned firepower. None of this fancy smanchy stuff.
Meanwhile, Oopla now taking on the Armos Knights. Well, having a little bit of trouble here with these Armos Knights. They're just not playing nice, but they're on the last one now.
Yep, nearly got the quick kill set up, but just that wrong input. We just happened to shoot the wall instead.
That is crystal number 6 for Oopla. All that's left is Swamp Palace, which means he needs to find that mirror.
What's the chance he's mirrors in Turtle Rock?
Oh, hey, Charge Beam! That's a nice find right there to finish off Dragon.
Yo, we can microwave some boss. Oh, wait. No, we can't.
Yeah, that's kind of a meme when you think about it. Let's see what Magic Bat's got for us. Nothing. Looks like Oopla's heading back into Lower Warfare. Gonna take the shortcut over to Ridley, it looks like.
It's definitely not a bad play at this point.
Oh, and our tracker Sandres is saying he just thought of the worst place for the mirror right now. Shack.
We do need to find our all-important grapple beam, though. If we want to see a Shack 2 play, we have to find that grapple beam.
Now SuperNinTaylor gonna check the right side, the right sand pit here.
Yep, Shack is definitely worse than Ped because we know for certainty it's definitely not on Ped.
Oh! SuperNinTaylor found the last sword upgrade. He's got his tempered sword now. And there it is! We found it! Right sand pit. So I believe it's time, if I may. Because I'm double checking here, making sure everything is in order. Because yeah, we don't need anything else. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you check your phones, your watches, your time, keeping devices at this time, you will find that SuperNinTaylor has officially entered Go Mode time.
This is turning out to be a heck of a seed.
Absolutely. Go mode at 2 hours in. To be fair, that's actually not that bad. It's just, it feels like a lot because of how long it took for us to even get to Super Metroid. But from there, it just kind of started ramping up speed fast.
Yep, we managed to check so much of Link to the Past without having to even consider Super Metroid. Hydropower, yes, the red cane was the only thing that was in Brinstar. So if the red cane is, well, the big key for GT is not on the right side, then we have officially had another seed where we could have skipped Brinstar, which I think Oopla is banking on at this point.
The only advantage that Oopla has right now is that he has 2 more crystals over SuperNinTaylor, but it's Eastern and Desert, which are not Desert and Eastern and Desert, which are not hard to make up. So Oopla doesn't have a huge advantage here.
Yeah, they're very quick dungeons to get through. They're very quick dungeons to get to as well, considering now that we have the mirror, you can just mirror from the mire area and get in the back door.
Exactly. He doesn't have to go through the front end because he's already got everything. Meanwhile, Oopla now taking out what I like to call the Rider Pirates, because they are bug-like enemies doing drop kicks, so a reference to the classic Japanese superhero series Kamen Rider. Rider Kick!
Okay, you definitely lost me with that one.
Classic superhero show in Japan from the 60s.
And their SuperNinTaylor picked up their final sword. So, how many bosses is that going to be on Butter Sword? 3?
3. It's like butter.
I wonder if Oopla's just decided to set up a Crystal Flash, because it'll be so much easier than trying to farm.
Yeah, it makes sense. And he'll still have more than enough with everything he needs.
Yeah, I mean, ideally you go into Ridley with 30, because 30 super missiles kills Ridley flat out, but with 90 missiles to make up the missing one, yeah, it's going to be an easy fight.
Absolutely. So time to take on the Durgan.
Should probably reframe that. Easy in terms of ammo. Ridley is by no means an easy fight.
No, he is not. Especially with how much health Oopla has. It's not gonna be. It's gotta be careful.
Yeah, Oopla has what is essentially the sort of safety net that you would have if you were doing the 80% run.
You can see how quickly that health's getting drained because of Ridley. He is not a pushover when it comes to damage.
Yeah, you'd rather take a hug off of Ridley than hit his tail, because his tail hits the most.
But he still finished the job off, got the suicide kill, and down goes the Durgan.
And let's see what Ridley was hiding for us.
Just some resources.
Yeah, so the conversation in chat, yeah, Phantoon is weak against super missiles, put weak in quote marks, because he does take double damage from them, so a super missile would do 600 damage to Phantoon, but it also causes that annoying rage cycle that he goes through. So it's simply just a case of just filling with missiles because they're much faster.
Yeah. Unless you're really good at switching over to supers and hitting that and knowing when to fire that last shot, you're better off just going whatever. All right, SuperNinTaylor over to Desert, picking up a space jump, and then probably just going to go straight to the back. Well, he's got to pick up the keys. He's got to pick up the keys first.
We can just mirror out to this entrance.
So Oopla now working on the Norfair escape. While SuperNinTaylor finishing up here in Desert. Gonna get the big key here shortly. At this point, there's really not much to comment on because right now we're just waiting to see what when these runners get to the big plays. SuperNinTaylor, it's simply a matter of getting through these dungeons, killing off Land Molus, heading to Swamp, taking out Argus, and then off to GT. For Oopla, he needs to go back and get that mirror in the right sandpit Meridia.
Yeah.
Ooh, screw attack.
That's nice to find. But it'd be interesting to see because obviously SuperNinTaylor has to go back and kill Ridley. And obviously Oopla's just done that. So if Oopla can get to the sandpit really quick and find that mirror, it's like we quite possibly have a race. And that's the grapple beam. Why is the grapple beam back there?
I don't know.
But it should be more than a hint. Go to Meridia!
Come on, take the cue.
We gave you, well, I'd say early grapples. Gravity suit, but it really wasn't early.
Yeah, that's to get back what you were saying earlier, that's the thing about these kind of races, that just because it's very clear that SuperNinTaylor has the lead, does not guarantee that Oopla can't come back from this. It's just a matter of if he makes the right plays quickly enough. Well, there's Magic Cape to boot. We're finding all sorts of items in here now. Norfair was hiding everything.
Yeah, definitely make clearing GT a bit easier because, well, just use the cape and just don't take any damage.
Now SuperNinTaylor got a go mode Swamp Palace here. Doesn't even have to find the big key. Just go right on in, rush through, get to the center room, and go up to fight Argus. Doesn't have to worry about any of the other chests.
You have one of two dungeons in which the big key is in fact possible to be locked inside the big chest. Skullwoods, of course, being the other one.
Checking a lot more places. He still has not found that mirror, so he's still looking everywhere.
The problem that Oopla has is the problem I like, which is if you have the excuse to kill Ridley early before checking out Upper Norfair, you can just sort of loop all of the Norfair checks into the one go.
Yep. It's just in this case, it won't do him that much good. The best he can hope to find right now is silver arrows. If he can find silver arrows, that might give him an edge if he can catch up. But otherwise, it's not going to be... Ooh, Ice Beam. That's actually not bad.
Yep, give the beam just a bit more damage and then also be able to freeze those Metroids going through Turian.
Again, those little advantages that Oopla's got, but he needs to catch up in order for that to be effective. Otherwise, all it is just it's basically false hope. Oh, and Oopla needs to be very careful. He's running very low on health. Oh, I think I see what SuperNinTaylor's trying to do. Going for the water glitch. Very clever move there.
Yep, one of the newer of the glitches I think that was found. It was just recently that they put a vote out to decide whether or not they are race legal. Quite bizarre for a game that's been out for 20 odd years and it's still finding new tech.
That happens so often. Like, a lot of games that have been out for a long time, and yet people still keep finding new tricks. All right, time for Argus.
Dark Shark makes that look so easy.
Nicely done. Very quick fight there. And he's guarding the big key. But, speaking of big keys, now that we've defeated all 7, now that we have all 7 crystals, I believe it's time for me to set up a little something here, because, ladies and gentlemen, there are 22 possible item locations inside of Ganon's Tower where that big key could be hiding. Let's get your guesses in chat, folks. Where do you think that big key is gonna be? Me? I stick with my lucky number 13.
I usually like to just pick one that chat hasn't. And remember, of course, if you're picking any of the checks that happen to be on the right-hand side, you're wishing Oopla a very nasty time. Because Oopla will have to go back and do the Prince Star checks to get that red cane.
I think we were supposed to start with the bot on that, but I think it's too late for that, Siryu. I appreciate it, though. We'll remember for next time, don't worry. Alright, but nonetheless...
Does the bot even work just now?
I don't think anyone tried.
Yeah, the bot's alive. That's quite rare. Normally when you start one of these combo randomizers, usually the bot dies. So yeah, there's a command in chat that has just linked the both are runners, so go give them a follow. Give them some support.
Nonetheless, let's get this count underway. Alright, first 2 chests. Small key. And super missiles, that's 2. And he's gonna go right side.
Moment of truth. Is Prince Star required?
Nice setup there. That was really well done. All right, here we go. Number 3, Ether. Number 4, his heart. Number 5, power bombs. Number 6. Oh no! Big key at 6.
That's a devastating.
Well, that's game. I'm calling it right now. Oopla, I'm sorry. That's game.
Yep, I don't see how...
The Prince skip failed again.
Yep, I don't see how you come back from that, because you're going to be all the way in Ganon's Tower before you find out that, yep, that was required. And then you've got to question, right, where of all the checks have I not done?
Mm-hmm. That was worst case scenario for Oopla right there. SuperNinTaylor This is his race to lose. He can't. It's gonna take a miracle for Oopla to come back from this.
So the
Answer
red chain
question,
is at the
chat.
mark
Kane
ball
was in
check.
Green Brinstar.
Yeah, it was behind the mark ball. The mark ball. I just called it the
Mark
mark ball.
Super.
It's actually called the Mac ball, but
Behind near Mock Supers.
That is painful.
yeah, someone in chat said it was like, yep, it was the exact same time we found the mirror. We found